So things don't really change. Things do not really change as far as the truth, like the sun and the moon out there. But what does change, and that's what the big, 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 big deal is nowadays, is there's a generation fading out. They're losing their minds. There is stuff being lost as far as whatever that has upheld. Now, what can possibly be lost? Like I said, what's changing? Well, um, figuratively, we can figure, well, it's the information that we're celebrating, like what's true for us. What is the truth? Boy, the truth is the truth is the truth. There is truths that will say, well, I am a truth, but I am wearing a mask, and you have to keep peeling it. And that's where we get the analogy of the onion, which most truths are that way. You have to peel it down and get down to, is there anything solid there or not? Is the sun and the moon going to end up being there, and is it the same for us all? So what is changing? We're talking about, oh, major changes are happening. I would just say, well, yeah, there's a massive world. The world is changing. Didn't say the earth is changing, although we do see earth changes, but they're not anything any different than what the earth is capable of doing for millions of years, right? That goes with the cosmos too. Talk about what's changing, what's not changing. Well, certainly not, that's not changing. That's always happened. What could be changing is, like I said, there's okay. So they were trying to talk about a climate change, and the first time I heard this, that maybe it's a people change, was when it was a long time ago, and I would glom onto some illusions about climate change, like what we call climate change, and really, right. When I was in the laundromat, this woman, she was listening to me talk, and I was talking to her about it, and it was a long time ago. It was 8 years before or so before the C-19 thing, or I would turn on even the computer. And I remember she kind of turned her back and she looked out the door, and I could tell she was Oriental and a lot older than me. And she says, it's been a people change. It's been a people change. And yeah, that's what's crumbling away as a world, is just people who can't hold it together anymore. In fact, they can't believe that they were never holding it together. Something else was filtering them through as a so-called, let's say we are making progress here as a civilization. Nah, you're being farmed pretty good. Something, always recruiting the side of the organism that really does need a life, right? I mean, what can we do here? We haven't noticed. It's kind of getting pretty gnarly. Some people are comfortable with being kept like animal, like rats in a cage, and or any kind of animal in a cage. You are being farmed. I guess you can just, I have that situation out there where, there's the truth is whoever is farming those people, you better hope they're like me. I mean, I love that rooster out there. He's the boss of me, man. But I keep myself under wraps as far as letting it boss me around. I mean, just because it's crowing because it's for no other reason but that it knows that there are people, and I'm one of them, and it's trying to say hello. It doesn't like to be left alone. Tell you the truth, birds are very sociable. Social. They want to know, even though you're not a bird, they want to know if you see them. They really do. And if you do, I mean, they will integrate themselves, their presence into you. It's the same with everything else, though. I don't know if you've noticed it. I'm sure noticing it. out in Mother Nature. It's amazing. Yeah, and it's always been this way, but it's sticking out more and more. It's amazing, really amazing. So just trying to begin this video with what? Most likely just a celebration. I really did want to point out that perhaps that's what we're moving into now. If there is some kind of like substantial change, well, how do we when? Where is it? What does it look like? Well, I say celebrations. In celebrations, we'll see that a change has happened, and that is up to each individual has a profound responsibility right now to change into the celebrating kind, which is, embracing all of life, which includes death, that the side of life that isn't so hot, that has to suffer in order to just to learn something new. It has to go through a little pain because it had a belief, right? See, that's what we're going through is a lot of see the change that's happening, the big profound change. All it is that a lot of generations have gone so long holding on to beliefs and even rituals, daily rituals and ways of life that you can't keep doing that because it's illusion. It's illusion in many ways. You know, getting back to the garden, everybody is going to be looking so much healthier because of that necessary suffering. What we'll call it is just suffering the right way. Buddhists will call it something else more as just living a life of bliss. You know, hard to get your darn roll on within this society who's far removed from living together, but they're living to the orders of it's the New World Order who has an ability to just about, they're going to figure out if they could, if they would, they can, can they put it in the sky, just advertise it in the sky. This is your life, this is the way you'll live today, and feel comfy underneath our dictation. And what if that you really needed to get some food and you really had an individual life that you needed to manage, and it's like, oh, really? What do they have us living now with that? Underneath that dictatorship, how are we living? What is it looking like? It pretty much looks like it looks like it is what it is now, which is that TV set, man. That teaches people. It's so weird. See, I guess I'm a right brain person, but the truth is I am definitely capable of being practical with an order of things and managing things in accordance to just, if we want to be intelligent and useful, really. I mean, you don't waste things. So, but what I trip out on is academia, academics that actually tries to teach us history, especially like modern day history and shit that neckties are doing and all this is like, you know what? That's breaking down. That's the old world that is just going, look at it. And, it's like, yeah, you would expect leaders or people that are in position to tell other people, like, how to live or how it's going to be or how it should be or whatever, or even intaking the moods of the people to then adjust with some information going back at them that would help them. Um, it's not they are supposed to be elders because they're called wise people, people who have a wise wisdom. But that's not what you see over there in office. These people are wearing masks, right? It's amazing. It's amazing fucking amazing charade game full of liars, lies upon top of lies, and like I said, the academics behind it. Really? How much do you have to brainwash? Do you have to learn? All it is is a huge front for a damn war machine that, of course, it has its benefits. The whole thing, look at it. It's got skyscrapers and the chugging world. I'm sorry, but there it is, as loud as ever. And what is it doing? What is it doing? See, right now that's a huge, huge question. It's not that we haven't done anything before and that nothing ever mattered of anybody's lives, but you'll be surprised. But especially right now, do you know that all the people in positions of power, so-called, that are calling the shots for what? What's leading them, and what do we need to change, and what do we want? See, I say it's because we want to be healthy. We want to maintain healthy lives. It's very tedious. It's like I said, you have to be kind of wise to figure out, well, what is it that we need here to have a balance within ourselves that says, you know what? I feel good. I feel good. I'm feeling bliss. I don't think good is a very good, bliss is just unknown. It's just, hey, I didn't just say that I don't see that we have to get down on our knees and garden. It feels good to put a little time in on something that benefits later on. That's like, oh my God, I did that on a microcosm. Gardening is huge, huge. But see, this is the sad thing. It's getting more and more hard to garden because of the spraying going on in the sky. It's more and more hard to grow without having to do that chemical balance thing and use chemicals, and pretty soon you're not even growing anything safe anymore. You know, the wise thing to do is try to get that heirloom seed going and scrape the soil down at least 2 feet. There's where there's no chemtrails that have been happening, or at least where it depends on what your soil you're looking at. But you see, they are always raining that stuff down. If you notice anything, if you're like me, super sensitive empath, and you happen to be doing a little bit of gardening, you have noticed over the years that it impacts yearly, seasonally. They'll do a certain thing, certain kind of thing, chemical dispersion at a certain time that affects everything. It could just ruin your mom and pop garden like in an instant. I mean, we could just see that. Well, why is it turning so strange? It's because there was a whole month of piezoelectric nanoparticulate matter um, dispersed and emitting intense UV rays by reflecting the sun at eye level. This stuff falls out and it gives the plants and everything a certain message, and their photosynthesis gets knocked off. I'd say it gets accelerated. It's almost like they're experiencing double the light and they start doing something early. And it's like, why is it reproducing when it's hardly even grown now yet? And all kinds of stuff like that. You can super sensitive. I'm not even a farmer like professionally, but if you're anybody who's super sensitive and you're noticing things, you're gonna say, oh, this year is like that. Well, this year is like that. But it was years ago when I started to see how it's harder and harder, more and more, that you can't grow your own foods. I went into complete. It was one summer that I was just, unfortunately, we get used to it. We get used to living in just this inhospitable environment that we cannot really take care of ourselves. We are being fenced in, and it's the electronic fence. If it's not your fucking neighbor being an asshole that doesn't know how to fucking live with anybody, but their own ideals of bullshit that's fucking got to die because it's killing shit off anyway. It's fucking living death. It's a beautiful day.